All right, welcome back to Leviticus chapter 22. Moving on, we're just about done with the book of Leviticus now. It's amazing how far we've come already in the Old Testament. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos. I apologize for my voice, trying to get over a sore throat right now, so it sounds a little deeper and scratchy, that's why. But let's jump into chapter 22. A few things to talk about here. One, those of the priests and their families who may eat of the holy things are described. Sacrificial animals are to be perfect and without blemish. So verse 1, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name in those things which they hallow unto me. I am the Lord. So he's laying down rules, basically saying that they need to sanctify themselves. They need to make themselves holy. They kind of separate themselves from everybody else. When they're doing the holy things, they need to be separated out. Verse 3, say unto them, whosoever he be of all your seed among your generations that goeth unto the holy things, which the children of Israel hallow unto the Lord, having his uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. So again, whenever they say that, I am the Lord, that's kind of the same of, this is the way from, if you watch The Mandalorian, that statement of, I'm done speaking, basically, about this principle. So just reminding people here, basically, that if you go deal with the holy things, but you're not clean, that's not a good thing at all, basically. That's bad. That's a sin. So you have to be clean to deal with the holy stuff. Verse 4, what man soever of the seed of Aaron is a leper or hath a running issue, he shall not eat of the holy things until he be clean. And whoso toucheth any thing that is unclean by the dead, or man whose seed goeth from him, or whosoever toucheth any creeping thing whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he hath, the soul which hath touched any such shall be unclean until even, and shall not eat of the holy things, unless he washes flesh with water. And when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food. So this is saying, basically, these are the families, remember, of the priests. And the priests themselves, they can't eat some of the food that's brought in for sacrifice. That's how the priests are being supported. The challenge, though, is if something has happened that has made them unclean, so long as they are unclean, they are not allowed to eat the things that come from the sacrifices, the holy items. Because once they've been made holy for the sacrifice, they can't be used for other things, basically, except for the parts that they were given to eat. But you have to be clean in order to eat them. So that's some of the rules they're setting up, basically, for the families of the priests. Let's see, verse 8, that which dieth of itself or is torn with beasts, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. I am the Lord. Pretty straightforward, basically. Verse 9, they shall therefore keep mine ordinance, lest they bear sin for it, and die therefore, if they profane it. I, the Lord, do sanctify them. There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing, a sojourner of the priest, or an hired servant shall not eat of the holy thing. Pretty straightforward there too. Verse 11, but if the priest buy any soul with his money, he shall eat of it, and he that is born in his house, they shall eat of his meat. So just realizing that if it's a stranger, they're not allowed to eat that. So if you have a stranger living in your house, they can't eat the holy meat, basically, like a sojourner, or if they're just a hired servant. If the priest buy you with money, they basically buy you and merge you into the house, then you can. If you're part of their house, if you're born there, you can. Verse 13, but if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced and have no child, and is returned unto her father's house, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat, but there shall no stranger eat thereof. And if a man eat of the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part thereof unto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing. So again, if you accidentally eat it, then you've got to there's a compensation to pay for that. Verse 15, and they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, which they offer unto the Lord, or suffer them to bear the iniquity of trespass when they eat their holy things, for I, the Lord, do sanctify them. So that's one main revelation, basically. And we get into a second revelation here. Verse 17, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, and to all the children of Israel, and say unto them, Whatsoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, and for all his freewill offerings, which they will offer unto the Lord for a burnt offering, ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish of the beeves, of the sheep, or of the goats. But whatsoever hath a blemish, that shall ye not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you. So just realizing that, again, they're emphasizing the point that these sacrificial animals had to be without blemish. They couldn't have, a bum leg. They couldn't have weird stuff on them. Because they had to be a pretty clean, without blemish animal, because they're representing Christ, and he was perfect. He had no blemish. Wasn't like, wasn't like astonishingly amazing as the world would think. Like, he wasn't wealthy, he wasn't super influential. He didn't wear the latest fashions or anything like that. They're talking more about he was healthy. He was had his full faculties. Everything was good about his body and his functioning, and spiritually he was perfect as well. So because these sacrificial animals are representing Christ, they have to be in a similar way, without blemish. So if you have an animal and it has a blemish, it is not allowed to be used for sacrifices, basically. So verse 21, and whosoever offereth a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord to accomplish his vow, or a free will offering in beeves or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. Blind or broken or maimed, or having a wen, or scurvy, or scabied, ye shall not offer these unto the Lord, nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto the Lord. So, like, you couldn't have warts, they couldn't have weird growths on them, they couldn't have, they couldn't be blind or have problems. They had to be in really good shape, basically. Verse 23, either a bullock or a lamb that hath anything superfluous or lacking in his parts, that mayest thou offer for a freewill offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. So that's interesting. There's a little bit of a wiggle room for the freewill offering, but it won't be for vows. You can't use your vows with that. Verse 24, ye shall not offer unto the Lord that which is bruised, or crushed, or broken, or cut, neither shall ye make any offering thereof in your land. Neither from a stranger's hand shall ye offer the bread of your God of any of these. Because their corruption is in them, and blemishes be in them, they shall not be accepted for you. So you can't, basically, it's got to be in a good shape. You can't do it on your own. You can't offer sacrifices on your own land. You have to give them to the priest to do it. You can't do it on your own. Had to have by authority. That's important. And verse 25 there, neither from a stranger's hand shall you offer the bread of your God of any of these. So you can't necessarily, it's not necessarily, I don't think he's saying necessarily you giving the bread of God to somebody else. You are not, their offerings are different as well. Verse 27, when a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, and from the 8th day thenceforth it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So that's when it's talking about under the dam, it means by its mother. So you can't have a newborn. Yeah, it had to wait a while to be weaned before you could take it. Verse 28, whether it be a cow or ewe, ye shall not kill it and her young both in one day. When you will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord, offer it at your own will. So this is the free will offering concept. There were some things that they were commanded to do. If you commit sin, you have certain sacrifices to do. There's certain times of the year, certain days, you need to do certain sacrifices anyways. But there's also free will offerings, and these are extra offerings that you can give, and you get to choose the amount given. You don't have to give them if you don't want to either. So this is like we talk about in the modern church, fast offerings, and other related things where we give money, but you're not compelled to, you're not held accountable for it. You don't get punished by not donating it. You don't get extra rewards for donating a lot either. So it's a free will offering. It is something to just test your faith. Basically, how much am I willing to give and sacrifice to help God in his efforts? Basically what it is. And it should hurt. It should, when you donate that free will offering, it should hurt. When you write that check, you want to feel some pain inside when you write it, because it should be that tells you you're giving quite a bit when it starts to hurt. Uh, excuse me, verse 30. On the same day it shall be eaten up. You shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am the Lord. So basically, when those offerings come in and the some of that you can eat, you need to be eating that same day. You need to be getting rid of that. Therefore shall you keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. Neither shall you profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am the Lord which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. I be your God. I am the Lord. So some really interesting things we learn in there. Some of the particulars of the blessings, or not blessings, the sacrifices and how they had to be administered. Not bad. Excuse me. It's good for us to learn the importance of that exactness in obedience. They couldn't just give willy-nilly for sacrifice. It had some specific things to do. So it's good for us to look at, when are we maybe not being as exact in our obedience to God? What are things that we're doing where we should probably be better at that. We should probably step that up a little bit more, because we're not doing it exactly the way it should be. Maybe because we're lazy or whatever, that's fine. But exactness in obedience is something that's well worth looking at. How can we be more exact and better at our obedience? Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next chapter.